Burakovsky dangles, but a good play by Scheifele along with Morrissey. Prevents it. Josh Morrissey, Scheifele for the front. There he is. It's over. Mark Scheifele, his second goal tonight. And Winnipeg wins it in overtime. But Burakovsky tries to stick handle through Josh Morrissey. It's stolen by Scheifele, and eventually the goal scorer in overtime gets his second of the game. No chance for Jones. Beautiful pass here by Morrissey. And JT, you talked about Morrissey a little bit earlier tonight.
You know, that's just extending his assist.
All right, everybody, welcome in to What the Puck is Going On. Here we are on another Monday evening. So tonight we have 4 games available if that interests you this evening. I have already placed a little wager I did last night for tonight. So we'll go over that a little bit later. I did take the Islanders. They are on the board, as you can see on the live ticker. That's good. We took them in the 60-minute money line. So we need them to win. No overtime. They are doing their job as of right now. I am Nephew Dave. Alongside me, as usual, is Uncle Steve.
Good evening.
We'll get with him in just a bit. He is playing producer. There, are so many things here to do in the deep end studios of Virginia Beach, Virginia.
But I do have all the lines for the Tuesday games scrolling on the ticker too.
Excellent.
So if you want to look ahead at tomorrow's games, then dissect below on your screen.
Right, because we do have a couple more games in this evening. A couple good ones, though. I think we'll find some value. And once we do our deep dive, we will do our best to get you some interesting plays. As always, we encourage you to think for yourself. But if you need a little info and, you're running behind, let us do the homework for you.
Let me do a test button right here real quick.
All right.
See how long this takes real quick.
See what Steve's got for us this evening.
What the puck is going on?
So there's like a 5-second delay on these buttons.
All right.
I got to figuring that out if our crowd laughter comes later on the other shows.
Right. Figuring out the studio as we do here in year 1. So, we have a little ironing out to do, but we are doing it. We are figuring it out to bring you the best content that we can. So as usual, we're going to go over the standings, the top 3 in each division as we do every Monday evening. Also, something that I have been forgetting to do that I like to do is cover the power rankings. We'll go 1 through 10 on that. That way you can kind of get the best idea of how teams are playing. We're getting a good deal into the early season here, but Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. Right now we should be kind of figuring out how teams are playing. They have enough time to gel now. More practices, a little bit more chemistry. So right now we're getting just a little bit of an idea as to how these teams are playing and what the what's the word I'm looking for here? It has slipped my mind. The chemistry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
How they're developing.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the teams are 15, 16, 17 games into their season. So like you said, I mean, that's a decent size to be able to, know what you're going to get. And then we got the injury report as well. And that is starting to, kind of just like football, it is starting to blow up a little bit. Some teams a lot healthier than others, for sure. But you got some real banged up teams out there. I'll go through the injuries as we go.
Yeah, excellent. But you make a good point. We're getting to that point. Injuries are going to start happening. As you play more games, that always happens. That's just a part of sports, especially contact sports. Like with football, right now teams are probably the most banged up. It's just like hockey. It's going to follow suit.
Isn't that the most impressive thing that these guys can go on the ice on back-to-back nights and do what they do, though?
It's insane.
Seriously. They got to be sore from the night before. And,
they are.
I bartended back in the day for the minor league team here in Norfolk, and the guys go right to the gym. I mean, they are on the bikes trying to stretch, loosen up as much as they can after a game, especially when you got to play the back-to-backs. But, you got 3 games in 4 nights sometimes now.
Yeah, and that happens quite often. They're just machines, Steve. They're just finely tuned machines. So let's get into the standings here, and we'll start off, as we always do, in the Eastern Conference. We're going to dive into the Atlantic Division. So we still have the Boston Bruins sitting atop this division.
Yeah, they haven't lost since last show.
Right. So they're 14-2, good for 28 points. They look like the real deal at the moment. So let's keep that in mind when you're putting in your slips and whatnot. The puck line, we talk about the puck line being hard to play. It's the spread in hockey, if you're not familiar with what the puck line is. And for whatever reason, Steve, I'm not quite sure why, other than maybe soccer, it just feels like the hardest spread to hit, doesn't it?
It does a little bit lately. There's that one night, I think it was Thursday, I told you, a lot of teams won by 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
I started to kind of pay attention to that through the weekend. Everything was super tight across the board. It seemed like just a 1-goal game or 2-goal game. So I think the same thing's kind of going on in the NBA, to be honest. A lot of those games are just a lot closer. So buyer beware when you're moving some lines. In fact, I love to move lines.
Right. Well, that's what we do.
And I've kind of stepped back a little bit from the NBA just because I'm like, okay, wait a second now. It's kind of not doing like it did last fall. You're not getting the quick blowouts. Some of these teams that are supposed to be doormats aren't getting trampled like they should. In fact, they're winning games, which you should be doing the opposite. You're probably making a lot of money if you've been doing alt line moves on some of these super terrible teams. And some of that applies in hockey right now as well.
No doubt.
But I think we're starting to see some teams wane a little bit now, where the Flyers started off strong. They're now 7-6.
Yeah, and they're dropping.
So they've dropped off some. And then I'm trying to look at the other losing streaks. Detroit's lost 2 in a row now, your boys. Buffalo, they've lost 5 in a row now. Remember how hot they started off?
Indeed.
They were 7-3. Now they're 7-8.
Yeah.
So just like that, their season has swung. Where Montreal, now they've won 3 in a row on the flip side. So they've been playing very well. And Boston, the division you're talking about now in the Atlantic, I mean, they're running away with that thing already. They are 9 points up on Toronto in second place. They're in the Atlantic.
Right. And Steve, when you're playing like the NHL does with the points, if you get too far behind points wise, it can be very difficult to, cover that much ground. So you want to not let that slip away from you, because like you said, we're moving into the second place. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they're 8-5-3, good for 19 points. So there you go. That's just, there's the range in between those points. Third place in that division is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are 8-6-1. That is good for 17 points. So they move into that third spot, kind of booting the Detroit Red Wings out of that spot. And the Detroit, if you took anything on that, the futures that we've been really high on here in the deep end, they are actually out of the playoff picture if the season ended today. Now, we're still at that point where it's a little early to be talking about that, but just in the grand scheme of things, they are out of the playoff picture. I expect them to kind of, be up and down. I don't think that they win that division. I think a wild card is more appropriate for them. So let's drop into the Metropolitan. At number 1, we have the New Jersey Devils, 12-3, good for 24 points. The Devils are on fire right now. So they may be a good team to look for some value, kind of like we said with Boston, to maybe cover some puck lines that you otherwise wouldn't play, because they look very good, even though I believe they have a couple injuries, but that does not seem to be stopping them at all. They they might have a pretty good season, whereas people thought they might be middle of the road. I'll go ahead and say it right now. I was one of those people. You expect them to get better with the young talent that they have and, the draft picks that they've gotten throughout the years, being not such a great team. But they have the speed. Their differential here is plus 17. So they have the scoring power as well, and they look dangerous right now. So that's going to be a team, like I just said, I'm going to look at them and see how I can find some value with them. And as we do cover the futures at the end of the show, we need to check in and see what the value is going to be for them. If you took it early, you're probably pretty happy right about now, even though, they're only 15 games in. Anything can happen. But if you did anything with them at the start, you're looking pretty good at the moment. So number 2 in this division, the New York Islanders. They are 10-6. That's good for 20 points. And they're playing pretty well right now. Like we mentioned, they're actually playing an early game today. I believe the start was 5:30. And they're on the board. 1-0 last I checked for the New York Islanders. We took them in the 60-minute line, as mentioned. So we like that. And we get plus money out of that 60-minute line. So we are happy at the moment. Let's go Islanders. And in third place in this division, which is a little surprising, the Carolina Hurricanes, they are 9-5-1, and that's good for 19 points. I thought, they're still playing like the Carolina Hurricanes from last year. Maybe a couple bumps in the road here and there. I thought that they would probably be first or second at this point, but they're in third, and they're not terribly far behind. So they're probably not too worried. Still a team that we can find value, a team that you might could trust a little bit more than some other teams. So we'll jump down in the Western Conference, going to the Central Division. And we have the Winnipeg Jets jumping over the Dallas Stars in this division. They're actually tied in points. They both have 19 points. The Jets are 9-4-1. Dallas being 9-5-1. So they're mirroring each other right now, so to speak, in the fact that they have the same amount of points. Dallas was, as we talked about last week, in first place in that division. So they're flip-flopping right now. Got a little bit of a battle here. Third place is the Colorado Avalanche. They are 8-4-1, good for 17 points. So things are pretty tight in the Central. And I got a feeling that it's probably going to stay that way most of the season. If the trend continues at this point. So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe we can find some value in these Central teams and see what we can do with them. We're jumping into the Pacific Division now. This is all Western Conference hockey. The Vegas Golden Knights, 13-3, good for 26 points. So not much has changed with them since the last time, or since our last show, I should say. They are still on fire, looking very strong. There is some trade rumors coming out of Vegas that Robin Lehner, he might be on the trading block, being that they're happy with the tandem that they have in goal right now. So they're kind of going goalie by committee, using the two guys. And that's going to be interesting because, they got rid of Marc-Andre Fleury in lieu of Lehner. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do there in Vegas. And I got to imagine that they would probably get some pretty decent value for him as he is a pretty good goaltender. So let's keep an eye on that. That's something that is just came up. So we're definitely going to keep an ear out for that. So that's pretty good trade bait. And like I said, I feel like they can get a decent return anyway for him to maybe a team fighting for a wild card at the trade deadline who just needs to shore up the back end and have a little bit more stability in goal. So in second place, here we go. We have the Los Angeles Kings, 10-6-1, good for 21 points. So they have a pretty big game tonight with Calgary. I did fade the Kings a little bit tonight. I took Calgary -1.5, so I think they beat the Kings by 2. Only reason they're in Calgary. So that was kind of my train of thought on that. But kudos to the Los Angeles Kings being second in the Pacific. And then third, we have the Seattle Kraken at 8-5-3. They're good for 19 points. And Steve, what do you think about that?
I was going to take a late stab last night, just like a $10 last shot parlay for the Sunday, which went okay. Actually, it wasn't that bad.
But, not a bad Sunday.
No, we did okay, I think. And then Winnipeg was my pick, but I was hoping that they were going to do the 60-minute,
right?
Whatever. But they were trailed for a good portion of that game when I didn't watch it, but I watched the score kind of as I was
right
fading away, as they say. And Winnipeg's good though, man. Wow, they've been impressive. That's why we went ahead and queued them up first.
Yeah.
They have Connor Hellebuck, the goalie, which automatically, if you're going to have that kind of top caliber goalie, you're always going to have a chance.
Right.
But the Jets didn't really kind of do much last year. They're almost kind of Dallas start. Those teams are almost like mirror images,
aren't they? Though.
Yeah.
So.
And Winnipeg beat Dallas pretty good. We said keep an eye out for that game last week.
Right.
And Winnipeg, I think, beat them 3-0, if I recall correctly.
So I was telling everybody, Steve, that maybe the Central is a division that we should maybe keep our eye on a little bit, see if we can get some value out of it.
Yeah, let me pull that Central standing up myself. Let me see if I got a quick take on that. As I scroll through here, I'm looking at the Metropolitan East. Yeah, the Central. So Colorado, they've been better. They've won 4 in a row now. So they're officially on fire. Where we talked about them maybe wanting to settle just for a playoff spot. Maybe not. Let's see here. It looks like it's going to be, that's the question. Can Nashville or St. Louis rise from the ashes? Because you're going to expect Arizona to fall off eventually, although they've done better than, I'm not sure what their season total was for points from the get-go, but they're pacing for over, I'm sure, at 6-8-1. And then the same with the Blackhawks. They're above 500. They have the overtime loss. I always look at that 6-5-3 as almost like a tie. Just because you are getting a point at the end of the day,
Yeah. So, hey, and even if you lose in overtime, at least you get the point out of it. And sometimes, those points can keep you in the race towards the end of the year.
Oh, those are huge. Just to,
Yeah.
If you grab a point, you always want to grab the 2.
Oh, yeah. You always want the 2, but getting at least 1 is important.
Yeah. So it says a lot just to get to overtime.
Exactly.
That means a lot. And that's, in soccer, you get 3 for the win and 1 for the draw. So the draw, technically, which is not even a draw, it's a loss.
Right, pretty much.
It's treated better than a draw in another sport.
Right.
That makes kind of weird sense. We're at the intermission. Islanders 1, Senators 0.
There we go. All right, keep it up. Keep it up, Islanders. We need just 60 minutes tonight. No overtime. Don't let up. So here we go, Steve. I'm kind of excited, and this might be a little bit repetitive just because we're doing the top 10. But I think the power rankings is something that we should incorporate. And I think it's kind of important. Gives you kind of an idea of maybe teams you want to follow a little bit and try and get the value, the squeeze out of.
Oh, absolutely. If you could build your own profile of power rankings and put your top 10 teams in there and just kind of ride with that, eventually these seasons start to get long and wear on the players that are losing.
No doubt.
So that's what you kind of keep an eye out for right now. And I think that's in both this and the NBA.
Right.
I touched on earlier. So I'm going to listen to my own advice. If you start to hit some, losing spells around the holidays and everything, and then,
anything can happen. So let's get into this. We'll do top 10. Number 1 in the power rankings, the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't think we're surprised there, being what we just went over. Number 2, Boston Bruins. Number 3, the New Jersey Devils.
Wow.
And I told everybody while you were away, the Devils are on fire right now.
Yes, they are. I've been paying attention.
So watch out for them. Let's try and squeeze the value out of them a little bit as well.
I haven't done that. I'll tell you that. But I haven't gone against them, but I haven't gone with them.
I think we should start going with them a little bit, giving them a little bit of a peek there, Steve. So number 4, we have the Dallas Stars. Number 5, the Carolina Hurricanes. This is a little surprising. They have the Hurricanes over the Winnipeg Jets right now. In my opinion, I think I would probably swap that, Steve. 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. That's my personal belief. So number 7, we have the New York Islanders. And look at this. Look at the Seattle Kraken at number 8 in the top 10 of the power rankings. I believe I said when we first started this, beginning of the year, I thought that the Kraken would be a little bit better, but still that team just, new team trying to get it together.
It's Burakovsky, man.
It has to be. That pickup for them is massive right now. It is really doing them wonders. So good for them.
So they have they're a +7. They've scored 52 goals. They've allowed 45, which is not the best, but it's pretty good. So defensively, they're pretty sound. Let's see, 52 as far as goals scored it's higher. I mean, there's a lot of teams right there around the low 50s.
Right.
Boston killing everyone with 65 goals.
Wow.
Yeah, Vegas with 59. Yeah. That's a good recipe for Seattle. If you can be a +7 and kind of carry that momentum. The other thing is they're 5-1-1 on the road.
That's a really good road record. So they're picking it up, and that's nice to see. I mean, I don't have anything against Seattle. So hey, keep it up. Well, and maybe we can maybe we can squeeze a little value out of them where otherwise we maybe thought we couldn't.
Oh, I'm going to be looking at this future board a little differently here once we get to it.
No kidding. Sure. No kidding. So at number 9, we have the Colorado Avalanche, and rounding out the top 10, the Florida Panthers. Right behind them, I'll say real quickly, is the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think those two can flip-flop 10 and 11.
Uh-huh.
So maybe like a tie for 10, those two, same state. While they may not be mirror images of each other, at the same time, they kind of are. Just the style of hockey they play, they're very competitive. So we can flip-flop that. And so that's your top 10 power rankings right there. Not much surprise being the rankings with the standings, I should say. So I'm opening up the book right now, Steve, and I think if you're ready, we can take a little dive into the evening.
Looking at it now.
All right, I'm pulling mine up. It's being a little slow, as it usually is.
There's not a game until 8:30. It is Flames and the Kings. Flames -180, where I'm looking at it right now, and +145 for the Kings. Over under 6.
I was telling the people, Steve, I took the Flames at that 1.5 tonight, just because I feel like they're the home team this evening, and I guess I should have looked a little bit further because the Kings are in second place in that division, playing pretty well.
The Kings are strictly an over team, is what it looks like to me. They're giving up 57 goals on the season. They've scored 56. Calgary is the opposite. So this is going to be a contrast of styles. 41 goals scored for Calgary, and they've given up 45. Now, I told you I don't like the totals, but I would look at an over in this game if that's what anyone's going to do.
An over 6.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I don't want to try to get 7 goals in any kind of hockey game, to be honest with you.
I don't usually like that either. We've actually talked quite a bit about that, Steve, the last couple of days, where – I think it was last year and definitely years prior. It's always been 5.5.
Yeah.
And I'm very comfortable with the 5.5. I will play an over 5.5. It gets a little scary for the under, but
the good news is if you get the 3-3, then
you're there.
Yeah, you're there at least. But I don't know about this game. I would have to pass. The conflicting styles, I would have to sit back and watch. But yeah, if Calgary's the beast team that they should be, Dave, then obviously they should maybe flex their muscles in this situation.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for, because right now I have him, Steve, at plus 150 just to win by 2 goals. And that's an empty netter is basically what that is right there. I think being this is a divisional game, it's going to be a tight game. And I'm hoping Calgary hits the empty net with about 38 seconds left and makes me a happy camper.
The Arizona did that for me when they beat the Islanders 2-0, actually. So yes, that happens all the time. It looks like in the goalie tonight is I just had it.
See, and I actually got it.
Markstrom and Quick are the
okay.
goalies.
Yeah, that's a good goalie matchup.
Jonathan Quick was always really good, but he just seems like in recent years, although he's still there, I mean, he's just a little bit more of a Swiss cheese slice of cheese right there,
right?
And the goal mount, because pucks do get by him. I mean, they've given up a lot of goals on the year, as it is. Markstrom is a very good goalie, though, and Quick. Like I said, he can have his moments for sure. He's been around forever, it seems like, at this point.
Well, and
and he's a seasoned veteran. They're not going to kick him out anywhere.
No. And I think that's the thing about it, Steve, is you watch him in the last couple years. It's been a little bit of a digression, but like you said, I mean, he is a seasoned player.
Yeah. If you get to the playoffs, he can get hot for sure, and carry you a long way. And he has. He's already won. They've won it with the Kings.
Right. And he's played a lot of hockey. So, you got to figure that into it. That's going to happen. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. I got the value a little bit better last night, Steve, when I was laying in bed, kind of doing a little research on this. I got it at plus 155 for the minus 1.5. So it's dropped down 5.
And if I look at the 60-minute money line, anything there? Nah, I mean, I think I just avoid this one altogether. The Flames by 3 is just plus 250. I don't trust that.
I don't like that value for that.
The Kings, the win by 3 is at plus 650 is kind of crazy.
Now, maybe that's something if you're feeling a little frisky on a Monday evening.
If you're feeling frisky on a Monday, that's what you do. But I don't see anything else.
All right. And what do you think? I already played it, like we mentioned a couple times. So if you want to play the Islanders-Senators game, you're going to have to do a live play on that, which right now, Steve, the over has dropped down to 5.5 at plus 125. While that's not super value, if you're pairing it with something, you feel any kind of way about a 5.5, being that there's a goal already on the board?
Here's what I like to do. And I noticed this last week. I like to look at the team goals. So, in fact, let me go ahead and pull something up here.
All right. So
if we're going to go to live play action, and I was finding good numbers on this because this is, I think, the only. I played our one hockey bet Monday, and I've done one hockey bet since for $15, to be honest. So I've had 2 hockey bets. For those out there who think I'm a degenerate gambler, 2 hockey bets in a week is nothing. Okay, so let's see here. That is, where's this end game? Okay, I like to look at this, and they're in the second period, so I got to update my ticker. I like to look at the team goals on the live. So I have a 60-minute New York Islander goals. So for them to get to 4 goals is plus 140. Or the Senators to get over 1.5 is minus 180. Here's the thing. The Islanders are pretty good at not allowing goals, to be honest. I witnessed that the other night with my Arizona team, but they did get there. But this is the play. I think you play – I would look at the Islanders over 3.5 at plus 140.
That's not bad.
That's what I would do, to be honest, in this situation.
I like that.
Because they're a good hockey team.
They are. And you're still getting plus value, Steve, on the puck line right now going into the second period. So I feel like you don't always see that. It's a 1-0 game. You would think that the book is going to think that they're not going to give you plus money on you only need one more goal at this point to be covering that. You know what I mean?
So here's the other one I'm looking at too is plus 350 on the Senators on the 60-minute money line with no push. So you're getting good odds. Not saying that's what I'm taking, but if you're playing around live in game, that's kind of the lesson I'm trying to give to the viewers and listeners out there now. If you like a team to win in regulation, even if they're down the goal, you're going to get a nice payout. So plus 350 on the Senators. I mean, you click it, you hit it. Next thing you know, they got a goal, and you're even up right then and there. So look for those kind of things too.
And then you're feeling good about it.
But I would go over Islanders 3.5 goals plus 140 if anyone forced my hand right now.
Right. So that's a pretty good in-game look there, Steve. I've already played it or currently playing it. So I don't think I'm going to push the envelope too much going back in-game. Although there are some values that I'm looking at that I do like. So maybe we wrap it up this evening and I'm like, oh, well, I changed my mind. That could always happen. So we'll see. Right now I'm currently playing it, so I'm going to leave it alone. So let's go to the next game here. We already talked a little bit about the Kings and the Flames. You want to try and cover some angles there? You want to leave it alone? I've already made my play on it.
No, I would, if anything, if I'm just playing around, I would look at something in game.
Yeah, that might be an in-game play there.
But you have faith in the Flames, and you're a better, more hockey knowledgeable fan than me. So yeah, by all means, lay the 1.5.
So I think you're just getting good value for it. Maybe it gets home, maybe it doesn't. I should have round robined it because Steve, I'm gonna sidetrack real quick. I had the pretty good pick yesterday. Went 2 of 3 on that one. So the parlay did not get home, but the round robin saved the bacon. So we have that.
Once you start parlaying all these different things together, then all it takes is just a couple little hits, and you can at least make your money back.
Yeah, exactly. So not a total loss. Came close on some other stuff, but hey, that's just what happens. The point being is always think about the round robin. You don't have to do it. Just give it a consideration. We like the round robin, obviously, and it came through with a helping hand yesterday, so we are going to continue to do those.
Ottawa on the power play.
Oh, on the power play now. All right. Steve he's keeping us up to date on that game.
I'm on it live right now.
Oh, he has got it live.
I don't want my ticker to be out of date.
So this is what we do for you here on What the Puck is Going On. Deep in broadcasting, it's the best spot for all of your sports knowledge and lines and all that other kind of good stuff. So, Steve, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover the Carolina Hurricanes. They are in Chicago tonight playing the Blackhawks. And I'll tell you what I took off the bat here. And I believe it is, yes, I took the Carolina Hurricanes to win the game and over 5.5. I got plus 135 value on that. I was having some trouble finding some stuff that I liked in that game until I ran across that kind of double take, the game parlay. And I said, you know what? Plus 135 for that. Kind of bumps it up. You're not just asking them to win. You need 6 goals, which the way Chicago's been playing, and we know who Carolina is. I feel pretty good about it over 5.5 there, Steve. If you're doing anything, you like the 5.5, or you like even a little bit more?
Let's see here on this game. This one's scary for me. I don't know what Chicago really is,
Right.
So here's what I see from Chicago. They're a little bit better than a 500 team, but they do take you to overtime, so that's good as far as you wanting to get goals. But they've only scored 38 on the year. That seems like that's low to me. That's not as bad as St. Louis at 31. Even Anaheim has more goals than Chicago. But Anaheim has more goals than Calgary too.
That's surprising.
Maybe your teams are going to bust out big time. But Chicago is a -5. So yes, that does favor the Carolina Hurricanes in that regard. And you know what? Carolina is a seasoned machine. They are 9-5-1. I think you can trust them in that spot with the bet that you just said. For sure.
Right.
So if that's what you got, I would be good with that. I just don't see any kind of. I would not take over 6 though.
Then that's what it's at for you, right?
I
that's
see
what
over
it's
6
for me.
at plus 100.
Okay. Yep.
But you got 5.5, right?
Well, See, I took it. I went to the game parlays.
Yeah.
So
right. So yeah, that's smart. Yeah. I think that's a smart strategy,
and that gets the value out of it. You know what I mean? It drops your over under a little bit, but you need 2 things to happen. But it raises your value on. So do you want over 6? Where if it's a 4-2 game, that pushes. You don't get anything for that. 5.5, you're gonna you get the 6, you're good. So that was just kind of my thought there, Steve. Let's ask for 2 things to happen in this and just kind of raise that value, because that's really the best kind of play that I saw with this one.
I've been looking through anytime goal scorers as we go along, too. There's nothing that really sticks out to me, really, with anyone. I don't know. If you really want to get crazy, maybe take a Jordan Staal at plus 370 to get a goal.
Take a shot at it.
But the Hurricanes, they are good. They're a good team. But here's the thing, even on the 60-minute money line, they're just minus 160. If you want to go simple and do something like this, I think this would maybe be a good idea. And I'm just going to do a quick example. So we'll take Carolina at the 60-minute money line, and we will back on out. Let's just find the game that we have going on right now. Still 1-0 Islanders, but I'm going to go ahead and look at the Islanders' goals as they have not scored. I'm going to see what the new number is now. And the Islanders now are just to get to over 2.5 goals is minus 135. So they just need 3 goals, and I like that better. So now my Carolinas Hurricane straight up in regulation, and the Islanders to get just 2 more goals the rest of this game. 100 will win you $181.
There you go. And that's probably a safer play, being that there's not too much on the menu there for that.
Yeah.
You don't want to dive too deep, and then you're looking at this.
If you're trying to move sometimes you just say, you know what, let me just do something that sounds kind of smart and roll with it. I thought I had that with Mississippi against Alabama the other day until they just gave up the running game inside the red zone and tried to pass it and quarterback draw out of the shotgun and just stupid stuff like that. That was never going to work.
No.
But that's just the way that you can play around. I don't know. I would be more interested in this next game, to be honest.
All right.
Because I think it's going to be a slaughter fest.
All right. So I'm going to ask you one more thing about that, and then we'll get to that game because, I gotta see what I picked on that. But there might be a couple things we can find in that game. But since we know who Carolina is, Steve, do you feel comfortable in a race to 4 goals, taking them at plus 120 to get 4 goals before Chicago does?
So Carolina just to get the 4 goals at plus 120.
And that's all you need. That's excluding overtime, though. It's got to be in regulation.
So let's see. That's better than my over under 3.5 at minus 102. And they just have to beat Chicago to that mark. Yeah. I would like that better. I would like that better than Carolina straight up goals for sure.
Right. So that's always something that there's a couple things when I get down into the hockey menu that I like. And the race 2 is something that I always look at.
So they just need to get to the race. That's it.
Once 4 goals. That's all they need.
And so if you compare that to a team total over under, that's a lot better value. Now, if Chicago beats you to the punch, yeah, I guess you don't lose.
You know, you're out.
They can beat you 5-4. I just don't see that this is a 5-4 hockey game on Chicago's part.
No.
Watch, it'll be 8-7.
Right. But hey, they could lose that game. But as long as they get to 4 first, we don't care. You know, we just need them to get to 4 first. And then after that, whatever happens, happens, because it's already gotten home for us. So that's a couple angles that you could go with the Carolina Blackhawks game. As I said before, we always encourage you to think for yourself, but we are here to find some angles for you to make things just a little bit easier.
Do you want to do a break? Then we'll do this last game.
Yeah, we could do that.
And then do the futures.
And then head into the futures.
All right. So, all right. Break time coming up in 3, 2. You have to hit the button and it waits 5 seconds, but here it goes.
You want to advertise with Deep End Broadcasting? Send us an email at deepend757@yahoo.com. That's deepend757@yahoo.com. Tired of your swimming pool's diatomaceous earth pool filter? The constant cleaning, green pool, cloudy water? I thought this was supposed to be clean. Trust your swimming pool's water quality with a custom sand filter install. A clean, easy solution for your swimming pool operations. Contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517.
Hey, does your home have algae or stains on the siding? Is there grime built up on your deck or brick patio? Coastal Pressure Washing Services has a warranty of professional services. From pressure washing to window cleaning to deck and fence staining, as well as dryer vent cleaning, you got it all. Call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net. Again, call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
Dependable Solutions can provide all voiceover services for your advanced audio production needs. Think of us as an inexpensive option, no matter what the size of the project is. From one-word cameos to full script productions, contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517.
Control your alcohol. Don't fight. Don't drink and drive. Your one punch could kill someone. It happens. If you're behind the wheel, you may think you are fine, but then the other driver is under the influence of texting, and then you are done. Control your alcohol.
It is estimated that 23% of car accidents each year involve a cell phone. That's 1.3 million accidents a year. Reaching for your phone, you are 4 times more likely to crash. Dialing on your phone, 2.8 times more likely to crash. And texting on your phone, you are 23 times more likely to crash. Attentive drivers are safe drivers.
Know your gambling limits. Don't ever bet what you can't cover. Wagering on sports is only fun when you do it the right way. Not every bet will win. When you get on a bad run, know it and avoid trouble. Know your gambling limits.
What the puck is going on?
Lose the draw. Now it's a 3-on-2 for the Stars. Lindell carries up across ice. Glenn, and they score! Glendening went to the net, redirects it. A short-handed goal makes it 4-1 Dallas. That will not make the coach happy.
No. Penalty killers to create this goal. And the shot, Glendening with the tip. Just underneath the arm. There's the defensive zone face-off win. These are 3 defensive players and offensive players.
So, from experience, if you are on the wrong side of a shorthanded goal, chances are, no, the coach is not very happy.
Yeah. Well, the Stars put a whooping on them yesterday.
So, yeah.
Them being the Flyers.
So here we go, Steve. We're going into the last game on the slate for the evening.
Yeah, this is the one I would look at.
This game, we have St. Louis going into Colorado. So we have the St. Louis Blues at the Colorado Avalanche. And
I don't understand why the spread's only minus 200 for Colorado in this game.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I think because, Steve, as I'm looking at it right now in their last 5 games, while we know the Blues have been slipping pretty badly and struggling, they have won their last 2 games, one being against San Jose. They won 5-3. And here's a really good win for them to kind of boost some confidence. They beat Vegas their last game out 3-2, and that was in Vegas. So pretty good win for them, and I think maybe the book is looking at that, Steve. But as you said earlier, last 5 for Colorado, I mean, they're 4-1. They're beating Columbus twice, Nashville once, and Carolina they beat 4-1. So that's no pushover win for sure. Those are 2 teams that expect to have deep runs in the playoffs. So you beat a team like that 4-1, Steve. I think you're feeling pretty good about that.
The Blues have a couple of injuries just in the last few days. Logan Brown, the center, and Robert Bertuzzo, he has an upper body injury. So both of those guys are out. And then Colorado, they looked like they were a little bit more banged up. And sorry, I was playing producer. I was not looking at the injuries like I should.
Oh.
But Colorado, yeah, that's what's going to be. They're losing. So as of November the 14th, they've lost 4 players. So that is today that are going to be out for some time now. So Bowen Byram, the defenseman, Shane Bowers, the center, Curtis McDermott, the defenseman, and Samuel Girard, the defenseman, all out for Colorado. But they're, and Landeskog, he's been out for some time now. We all knew that. But Colorado's a machine. Yeah, I guess the injuries. That's why. I mean, I guess maybe that's why this line's lower. I would trust Colorado still at home, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you, Steve.
We got Georgiev against Bennington for the goalie matchup. Is that how you say his name for Colorado?
Georgiev,
yeah. So we have him. I would look maybe for this. This is what I like. You know this, David. The shutout by Georgiev is plus 960.
I thought that you might say that.
The Blues, who do not score goals, if I'm going to take a shot on a shutout, which the couple of times I've actually played that, I've won it, but it's been Colorado both times I've done it. I would take a shot on that at plus 960.
There you go. I have the Georgiev shutout at plus 800.
Wow. So there you go. Look at your different books. The other thing I would look at is at this. Again, I would go to the money line with no push. In fact, I think this is a good one. Take Colorado on the 60-minute money line, no push, and do that with the peeps I was talking to earlier, who is not the Islanders. Let's see, who did we have? Oh, yeah, Carolina. So Carolina on the 60-minute money line, no push, is minus 162. So there you go. Plus 180 if you want Carolina and Colorado both to win in regulation.
Not bad.
I like that. The other one I would look at is if I had to play it with something else, the Kings just scare me a little bit. But yeah, let's take if you think it's all chalk like that tonight, add Calgary to the mix and a 60-minute money line, no push with Calgary, Carolina, and Colorado now pays plus 440. So $10 to win 44, 50 to win 220. That's quick math in my head. How about that?
Right.
And 10 to win 440, 100 to win 40, 100 to win 440 is what that would be.
So that's not bad, and I could see all that happening. So that would be, That wouldn't be such a bad play, I don't think, Steve. You might have found a little angle there.
Yeah. Colorado. I mean, you're asking just the chalk to win in regulation, and you're getting a better price not to go to overtime. Watch them all lose by 3 goals.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So in this game, Steve, I took them, and here I go talking about how the puck line can be so hard to play in hockey, and I've took it
1-1 Islanders Senators.
All right, see, we don't like that. I took 1.5 on Colorado. It's at plus 130. I got it a little bit better, not much. I had it at 135 yesterday evening. So that's my play on that. But again, if you look at the race 2 on these, Steve, might not be very good. Yeah, you're going race to 4 goals for Colorado at plus 120, which St. Louis isn't scoring right now. That might actually be another good play to that. I could see a 4-1 game.
Yeah, let me look at the Colorado team goals, and then we'll see if that makes sense. So Colorado over 3.5 is just minus 110. And what are you getting paid to get the 4 goals?
Plus 120.
Yeah, and they're going to get the 4 goals before St. Louis will. I'll tell you that.
You would definitely think.
You would definitely think. So yeah, I would take I like that better than just individual over 3.5.
Right.
So yeah, I do like that little race 2 goal thing.
And I didn't think that they were really going to give those.
Well, it's a unique way to take a team total and betting the other team kind of in a parlay.
Right.
As long as we can just kind of get there, and you can even lose.
Yeah, and you can lose. Your team can lose.
Yeah, you can eventually lose. So kind of cool.
Yeah, so you're not hoping for a win or anything. It's a race. So you're hoping that they win that race. And if you go down to 5, Steve, you're getting plus 235. If you think, all right, well, this could be a 5-2 game. Colorado heavily favored for good reason at that. If you're feeling a little frisky, like we say on a Monday evening, then you could certainly take plus 235 to get 5 first. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was looking at the Colorado win margin. I just knew it wouldn't be that great. It's only plus 210 to win by 3 or more goals. That's not a good payout for me. Let's see what the alt line is.
No, I would take the race before the puck line.
Yeah. I would just take that race. I think that's probably your best bet. But I'm going to take maybe I'm going to sit here and take a stab here with the shutout by Georgiev.
Ooh, I kind of like it. That's
plus 950.
Yeah, I kind of like that, Steve. We're finding some good angles here.
Mark that as my official play of the week.
All right, Steve's play of the week. You heard it here. So anything else from this, Steve? I think I've gotten what I want out of it.
No, I just see that St. Louis doesn't score goals. And Colorado has some injuries, so that concerns me. But I would trust the kid between the pipes, especially if St. Louis can't score anyway.
No doubt. No, I agree with you there.
I'm going to look through the injuries for the other games. Calgary is really healthy; they're fine. Michael Stone, he'll be out. Undisclosed reason is it. Carolina, Frederick Anderson, he is out. I did not know that. They did have the other goalie listed when I was looking at that. We didn't talk about the goalies.
Oh, okay.
There for Chicago. So I knew it was the second stringer. Let's see. Anything relatively new? Andre Case, the right winger, concussion out for Carolina. Let's see. But the Blackhawks are missing 3 guys tonight. So they're missing Tyler Johnson, the center, Alex Stalock, the guard, and Jason Dixon, the center, all out for Chicago. And we talked about the injuries there for Colorado. Okay.
Right. All right, Steve. So we got just a couple minutes left. So you know what that means. It's time for the futures as we wrap up for the evening.
All right. Let's see.
So we're going to start here in the Metropolitan Division. That's Eastern Conference hockey. So right off the jump, Steve, I see Carolina plus 110. They have a couple injuries. They're third in the division right now. But right next to them, the New Jersey Devils, plus 190. So they're not over plus 200 or some anymore.
But is this for the division future?
This is for the division
All
future.
Right, so I see plus 250 for the Devils.
Oh, man.
And I'm getting plus 165 for Carolina. But as we climb the board, you're going to have better odds on one of these teams. We learned that last week.
Right.
So
always shop.
Yeah. I see the Penguins at plus 450.
While I have them at plus 900.
Yeah, see, there you go. You're getting much better odds with the Penguins of that book, but I'm getting better odds with Carolina and the Devils.
So
that's a big difference.
I love that value though for New Jersey right now over there on your book, Steve. Now things we're 15 games in. We have to remember that things are going to and will always change. But the way they're playing right now, the momentum, the confidence that they have, you got to think after what we've seen now in the 15 games that they might be there for that. Would that be a fair assessment, you think, Steve, that they could actually contend for this now? Or are we too early and we're getting a little overexcited?
Too early and a little overexcited.
Okay. All right, there we go. So you heard it right there. I still love the value for it, especially paired with a few things. If not anything, it's a good booster. So let's move in. Those were the top heavy teams. Like I said, we got Pittsburgh, New York Rangers plus 1,100 over here for me, Steve. Islanders plus 1,200. The Washington Capitals plus 3,000. For good reason, that team. Well, they're starting to get players back though.
Yeah, but the team that's in the free fall is the Penguins.
Yeah,
I mean they're now in 7th in the Metropolitan. That's crazy.
You wouldn't think they'd be there. So maybe a sneaky play with them. They get hot later in the year and turn it on.
They're 2-6-2 in their last 10 games. That's the problem.
Right.
And the Capitals, as you spoke, 3-5-2 in their last 10 games. So yeah, those two teams not doing themselves any favors when the rest of the division and the guys above them are playing above 500.
Certainly,
that's for sure.
Certainly. So let's jump into the Pacific Division here. Vegas Golden Knights are the favorite right now for very good reason. Minus 175 over here, so I don't like that at all. I ain't taking that.
I have them a minus 110, but then the Flames are 4-1, Edmonton plus 450, Kings plus 700, Kraken plus 1900, Canucks plus 4100, and then we get scrubby completely.
Right.
So I'm sure you're getting better odds again on one of those other better teams like Edmonton. What's Edmonton paying out for?
Plus 650.
Yeah. So there you go.
Plus 900 for the Kings.
Yeah, so that's the difference there. Where I'm getting better value with the Knights, you're definitely getting better value with the Kings.
For sure.
The Oilers.
All right, so let's go into the Atlantic Division here.
Is there anything I want to take? Yeah, keep going.
No kidding. The Boston Bruins for me are minus 150. The way they're playing, that's looking like a sure possibility.
I got them at minus 105.
Oh, that's better.
And if you want to just do one big straight bet for the year, you might as well take them now.
Yeah.
Because they're up 9 points.
And it ain't getting better, that's for sure.
And they're paying even money. Yeah, just about over even money. I mean, if that's your style, you're like, let me just find one really, really good bet. You have a 9-point lead with Boston right now. Lay minus 105. Put your $2,000 down and don't bet any more hockey.
Right. And just leave it alone. The Maple Leafs plus 400. Florida Panthers plus 550. Tampa Bay Lightning plus 700. The Red Wings, that I've been high on, they have skyrocketed to plus 7,000 to win that division. So, yeah, tough to say. Pretty high value, but they have some pretty good teams ahead of them, Steve.
So my Stars are down to, let's see where they're at. Somehow I got scrolled up to the conference. So in the Central, The Stars are still 5-1 odds.
Yeah, you have them better for sure. I have plus 380.
Okay. So I would do, if you wanted to get frisky for a season-long parlay now, here's what I would do. I would take a chance with the Stars of plus 500 because you're still getting paid good there. All right. I would take your shot. What are the Kraken paying for you?
So I have the Kraken. What do I have the Kraken at? Oh, I have them 5,500.
Wow, just to win that division?
Yeah.
They're 7 points back. Okay, that's not going to happen. All right. So I'm going to head back to Boston, and we're going to hook them in with the Stars. And on that one here, because I'm getting a good price on Boston, I'm now getting 10-1 odds if I have the Stars in Boston. I like that. And maybe I'm going to add on the Carolina Hurricanes at plus 165. And now my $100 bet is paying $3,000. So that, if you're looking to do some kind of long-term investment now with the future boards, you're getting the Stars that are in, let's see, they are tied for first place at 5-1 odds. You're getting Boston, who is 9 points clear of second place. And you have Carolina, who is 5 points out, but they're trailing New Jersey and the Islanders. They can overcome them for sure, I think. And they have one more game to play than the Islanders do.
Right.
So at 30-1, I like that. And if I want to add one more dancing partner, why not with the Knights, I guess? Are they that far ahead right now? Let's see. Well, I looked at it. They were pretty decent. They're 7 points up, 5 points up of the Kings. Yeah, I don't want to take the Knights, so we'll drop them off. But that does pay 580-1. Is that what it is? No, 58-1. So 100 pays 5,800 if you add division winners now: Golden Knights, Hurricanes, Bruins, and Stars, all in really, really nice positions. But I'm not going to trust that division with the Knights. So at 30-1 with Carolina, Boston, and Dallas, I think that's if you're looking to make one bet right now for a division future, wow.
Yeah.
Voila, I just gave it to you.
If right there, I think that's a pretty good one, Steve. If you're investing long term, that's a good futures bet.
The scary one is Dallas, obviously, but you're getting paid 5-1 over here for a reason.
Right, right.
But they are tied for first, and they have that kind of team that can grind you out and get, like.
Certainly, absolutely.
We said 4 injuries for the Avalanche tonight. What if the injuries start to pile up again?
Right.
So
yeah, there you have it. I would also, real quick, I would take a look at the Winnipeg Jets. I have them at plus 1,300 to win that division.
Oh yeah.
That they are tied in first with.
What you could do is bet the other 2 with Dallas and then bet the other 2 with Winnipeg.
Yeah,
and you're going to get paid big time on either one of them,
no doubt.
And the win will cover the loss for the other by far.
For sure.
So that's a good idea.
There's a good future play for you. So I believe that's about all we have for you this evening here in the Deep End Broadcasting Studios. So we're going to go ahead and let you get back to the evening. We thank you as always for viewing
going on?
or viewing or listening.
What the puck is going on?
I think the light touch is 5 seconds and the hard touch is
fires
off.
So that makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, well, as always, we appreciate you viewing or listening. We'll see you back here on Monday night. Don't forget about the Friday soccer paycheck with Uncle Steve. That'll be from, I believe, 4 to 5.
Yeah, and we World Cup preview. Got my man Foley coming in studio to discuss. So World Cup will start Monday. I believe there's one game Sunday, and then the triple header will be next Monday. So we'll look at the week ahead. We'll break down all the group play, and we'll see where we stand after a week.
Excellent. So they will be bringing all that to you. If you're a soccer fan or if you just want to try and get in on that action, they will have that covered for you. And as always, don't forget to tune in to the Round Robin with your coffee on a Sunday morning, as we like to do it, starting at 6 with Dave Del Grande, and then myself, the Ant-Man, and Uncle Steve, the usual suspects, on a Sunday morning. So there we have it. We hope to see you next week for the paycheck and for the Round Robin. And everybody have a good night and good luck if you have any tickets going.